It took to the streets of Providence Monday night. Gay, straight, men, women, and trans standing together and marching for love.
Unite, come out as one.
We want a world in which it's safe to be who we are.
The candlelight vigil was organized by the management of the Dark Lady and Alley Cat. Organizers had expected around 700 participants, but as the streets of Providence swelled with people, it was clear the number was well over 1,000.
We need to make sure that we take back our ground to let them know that we're not going to let a religious zealot or terrorist take back what is ours.
While most of the marchers were smiling, it was also obvious that everyone was still mourning the lives lost in Orlando.
That it's time to, start loving people and not hating people.
And as they finally reached the steps of the State House, which was drenched in the colors of the rainbow, the group sang Amazing Grace and spoke about the hope of living in a world where everyone feels safe and loved.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. I mean, family, friends, everyone's very supportive.
We will continue, we will celebrate, we will laugh, we will sing, and nothing will stop that from us.
And the hope is that the massive turnout that we saw here tonight will be duplicated this weekend for the 40th annual Pride Fest.
Hi everyone, I wanted you guys to see that before I started this broadcast, because on this Sunday, Orlando was, sorry, it's so hard for me to get this, because it's a shock to me. It's not just a shock to me, it's a shock to everyone that something like this could happen. In Orlando, the Pride Gay Club was attacked by a lone shooter, and he shot maybe over 100 people. Half of them are dead. Some are in recovery. Among those dead is the shooter, which is a good thing, but at the same time, he's not here to take responsibility for what he did, the lives he has ruined. All the families who are affected by this, they will never be the same again. When this happened, I was in Nantucket, and the next morning, when it was morning, because it happened around midnight, I have a friend who lives down there in Orlando. I'll just call him by his first name. I'll just say his name is Rob. Rob lives in Orlando. And when I first heard about this, I was near scared that something had happened. So I went to Facebook to see if he was okay. Thank God he was. And I knew there was evil in this world, but I never knew that evil could be so demented like what happened this Sunday. And not only this Sunday, we also had another shooting it was actually in Orlando or Florida. It was to the Voice contestant, Christina. She was shot by a deranged fan. You'd think that maybe both I'm gonna admit this, these are tragedies. I am not gonna sugarcoat it. These are both tragedies. But at the same time, oh God, I knew what I was gonna say today. But even though I know what I'm going to say, it doesn't make it easier for what happened to the many families, to Christina's family, to the Orlando victims' families. It's easy for me to say everything in front of a camera, but it's not easy to say these kind of things in front of the people who were affected by this tragedy. So hopefully by making this video and showing you some things, maybe we can all have the courage to speak out and show everyone of our current and new generation that love is in many forms, no matter if you're white, black, gay, straight, transgender, no matter what you are. I could have purple skin. I'm still human, inside and out. And so is everyone else here. But at the same time, there are people who don't agree with everything that we live by. And those are the people that we need to turn their lives around. But before I go on any further, I'm going to show you another share screen of another thing about the Orlando shooting. So just give me a minute. By the way, the video that you just saw from in Providence, some of my family members were down there at the State House. In fact, the owner who owns the Dark Alley Club is my distant cousin, and I was like so proud of my family for going out there, and the thousands and thousands of people who went out to the candlelight vigilant and were able to like sing their hearts out to the many people who lost their lives. People who wanted to have a great time, but their lives were cut short. Hold on, I did something wrong. Hold on, everyone. Does anyone remember the Tonys that was also this Sunday? Well, the most awards were going out to the Broadway show Hamilton, and one of the leads took to the stage and delivered this amazing speech, which is pretty much touched the hearts of everyone here. But I mean, it's not enough for me to even say you got to watch it to believe it.
Towards promise by degrees. She is a perfect symphony of one. Our son is her most beautiful reprise.
Lin-Manuel Miranda wins Best Original Score for Hamilton at the Tony Awards Sunday night and gives an emotional acceptance speech. He wrote a sonnet honoring his wife and paid tribute to the victims of the mass shooting in Orlando that happened hours earlier.
When senseless acts of tragedy remind us that nothing here is promised, not one day. The show is proof that history remembers. We live through times when hate and fear seem stronger. We rise and fall and light from dying embers, remembrances that hope and love last longer.
The star then got emotional, appearing to tear up with these passionate words.
And love is 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 love, cannot be killed or swept aside. I sing Vanessa's symphony. Eliza tells her story. Now fill the world with music, love, and pride. Thank you so much for this.
E.T. was with
Love is love. No matter how much people try to shout it, throw it out of darkness into darkness, nothing can beat the power of love. Love is love, and it will always conquer over evil. So no matter who you are, be able to be who you are and love the people around you. And be able to love the person you want to fall in love with. And let's hope history doesn't repeat itself again. So that's it on this broadcast. I wanted to make it short and brief. So this is to the victims and families who have lost their lives, who just wanted to have a great time, but someone took that away from them. My thoughts and prayers are to the families, and may God be with all of you. Thank you again.